This is Part 2, Episode 148. Xiao Yan remained within the Falling Star Pavilion while he waited for Little Fairy Doctor to return. While he waited, Xiao Yan did not train his Do Qi. Instead, he had turned his attention to the training of his soul. The strength of one's spiritual strength was related to the tier of an alchemist. Ever since Xiao Yang's spirit had advanced to the soul state, he had not paid much attention to it due to needing to train his Do Qi. After all, as a Tier 8 alchemist, those of the same generation, within the Central Plains, who could beat him were extremely rare, but after hearing Yao Lao's explanations, he understood that this little achievement was not something to be of proud. His current alchemist level could barely be squeezed into the top 5 of the younger generation, within that mysterious Yao clan. This fact, which had been spoken from Yao Lao's mouth, left a great pressure on Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang understood that he would probably come into contact with the Yao clan in the future due to his relationship with Yao Lao. No matter what the case was, he couldn't let Yao Lao lose face. Hence, from the way he saw it now, a Tier 8 alchemist was a little inadequate. When speaking about raising an alchemist's tier, it would undoubtedly mean raising one's spiritual strength state. However, the 4 great spiritual states were not things that one could advance to just because wanted to. Mortal, soul, heavenly, D. Xiao Yang was at the soul state, within the 4 great spiritual states. However, there were very few people in the Central Plains who knew how to train one's soul. Among the people who Xiao Yang was acquainted with, the number of people whose spirit had surpassed the soul state and stepped into the heavenly state would not exceed one's fingers. The 3 giant heads of the Pill Tower possessed this ability. Yao Lao, who had currently advanced to the Bansheng class, was also within this category. Even though this was the case, Xiao Yang was certain that they were still at the heavenly state. As for the extremely mysterious Di state, it was likely that this continent did not possess an alchemist at this level. My current alchemist tier should likely be at the peak of the initial Tier 8 level. Xiao Yang revealed an expression of contemplation within the quiet room. Normally speaking, an alchemist who could refine a 4-colored pill lightning medicinal pill could be considered to be at the peak of the initial Tier 8 level. Although the pill lightning that Xiao Yang had attracted during the pill gathering had 5 colors, the final color had not been very pure. Hence, he only placed himself at the peak of the initial Tier 8 level. Attracting an additional pill lightning color from medicinal pill within the Tier 8 level involved a great gap that was as far as the heavens and earth. Hence, some of the alchemist gurus who could attract a 5-colored pill lightning were at the intermediate Tier 8 level. Only if one attracted 8-colored or more pill lightning could one be called a Tier 8 advanced level alchemist. However, the people of this level were existences countable with one's fingers even within the pill tower. My spirit should belong to the initial soul state stage. In terms of spiritual strength alone, it is comparable to other intermediate soul state experts. Xiao Yang frowned. He had not trained his spirit much during this period of time. Thus, the progress of his spiritual strength had been quite slow. It seemed that he needed to fork over more time in the future. There must not be favoritism between Do Qi and spiritual strength. After all, these 2 things were extremely important to Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang clenched his hand when he thought of this. A scroll that was formed from ancient skin appeared in his hand. The skin of the scroll was a dark yellow. At a glance, one could tell that it had existed for a long time. Xiao Yang carefully pulled open the scroll. No characters appeared on it. Xiao Yang did not feel surprise upon seeing this. Spiritual strength spread from between his brows. After which, it slowly covered the scroll. Following the presence of Xiao Yang's spiritual strength, some invisible ripples quietly formed on the skin. Then, wave after wave of information poured into Xiao Yang's mind through his soul. Great single soul skill. The information flowed into Xiao Yang's head and immediately transformed into large mysterious characters that surfaced deep within his mind. After a careful examination, it was uncovered that this was a Qi method to train one's soul. Of course, this soul training method was the prize that Xiao Yang had obtained as the champion of the pill gathering. Xiao Yang had studied it frequently after obtaining it, but he had not formally trained with it yet. He was about to travel to the Jiyu realm, and there was no telling just what he would meet there. It was definitely not wrong to be a little better prepared. Yao Lao had also studied this so-called great single soul skill. His evaluation of it was not bad. After all, this thing was an object from the ancient times. Spiritual training during ancient times consisted of a number of aspects compared to the future generation of Qi methods. Hence, Xiao Yang did object to practicing this qi method. Both his spiritual training method and this great single soul skill had their own advantages. Xiao Yang shut his eyes, and his mind sank into that mysterious soul training method. It was a long time later before he slowly opened them. This great single soul skill is full of unique aspects. No wonder it was the reward of the pill-gathering champion. The few lines of the word formula that I had obtained were shabby compared to this. Xiao Yang carefully studied this great single soul skill. He gradually touched something while training his spiritual strength. He was not a new person. The control over his soul was at a grandmaster level. The great single soul skill training formula might be vague, but it was not difficult for him to understand. After some thought, the areas that he had been lost in the past suddenly opened up. It was that insightful feeling after parting the dark clouds and seeing the bright moon. While Xiao Yang was feeling pleased, the spiritual strength that lingered between his brows slowly began to rotate. A numb feeling was vaguely emitted from between his brows. After which, Xiao Yang suddenly sensed an unusual suction force being emitted. The surrounding air rippled as bits of spiritual strength seeped out and poured into his brows. Upon sensing this change, Xiao Yang slowly inhaled a deep breath on top of feeling shocked. Was this the change that occurred after possessing a complete qi method? No wonder the alchemists from the ancient times were in their heyday. These ancient spiritual strength training methods were full of unique aspects. With this complete training method, my spiritual training in the future will finally enter the right track. If I was lucky enough, his spiritual state would be able to reach the intermediate soul state. At that time, refining a medicinal pill with more than 5 colored pill lightning would not be impossible. An expression of joy filled the area between Xiao Yang's brows. The surprise that this great single soul skill gave him far exceeded what he had expected. At this moment, he regretted not having practiced it earlier. Otherwise, his spiritual strength would have stepped into the intermediate soul state level. Of course, this regret merely lasted for a flash before it disappeared. It was difficult to achieve everything. During this period of time, he might have neglected the training of spiritual strength, but his improvement in terms of Do Qi was quite pleasing. Within a short 2 years, he had rose from the peak of the Do Zone class to his current 5-star Do Zone status. This speed could make up for all losses. Xiao Yang only smiled in satisfaction, after having firmly remembered all of the information within the great single soul skill. He returned it to his storage ring, and once again focused his mind on the training method. This continued for a couple of hours before he opened his eyes in a refreshed manner. A miraculous effect beyond my expectations. Xiao Yang praised with his mouth. He mused for a moment before clenching his hand. A bright red scroll once again appeared. Following the appearance of this scroll, a wave of rich fire energy billowed out. This bright red scroll was the scroll that Xiao Yang had snatched from the Do Xing remains back then. However, it had been left in cold storage by Xiao Yang after he had obtained it. After all, everything was not worth mentioning when compared to the great heaven creation palm, but he had just remembered it. This thing was ultimately an object belonging to a Do Xing, and would not be lousy. There was nothing bad in having more techniques in one's hands. Earth Resolve Flame, DI Class High-Grade Do Skill. It is unleashed through a strange method. One's Do Qi needs to be inserted into the land to create an extremely hot gas stream. The stream of gas will then shoot out of the ground under the opponent's feet in an unexpected manner. The attack will not reveal any sound nor presence as it delivers a fatal blow to the other party. This Do skill possesses some requirements in terms of the terrain. The closer one is to a volcanic area, the greater its strength. Xiao Yang swiftly absorbed the information within the bright red scroll into his mind. His heart was a little interested. This Earth Resolve Flame was not like other Do skills that required large-scale build-ups. Its silence and lack of aura could catch others off guard. The terrain requirement did not impede Xiao Yang. He was a human volcano with 4 types of heavenly flames. If the heavenly flame's strength was poured into the gas stream, the might of this Do skill would become even more powerful. It is indeed worthy of being a part of the collection of an elite Do Xing. It is far from ordinary. Xiao Yang softly praised. He was aware that he had added another task, to successfully learn this so-called Earth Resolve Flame. 7 days swiftly passed. During these 7 days, Xiao Yang immersed himself in training. He practiced the great single soul skill and the Earth Resolve Flame during this time. He forgot about food and sleep, but was gaining a deeper understanding of these two skills. When this bitter training continued to its 8th day, a familiar aura finally appeared within his senses. That aura belonged to the little fairy doctor. She has actually become this strong, her. Even with Xiao Yang's temperament, he involuntarily inhaled a gentle breath of air when he sensed the degree of strength in this aura. Xiao Yang swiftly pushed open the door and walked out. He saw a beautiful figure in snow-like clothes on the edge of the quiet courtyard in front of his room. The figure was standing there elegantly. The smile on the lady's face was extremely alluring. "Have you finally returned?" Xiao Yang stopped walking. He looked at the lady, who stood in scattered sunlight, and was involuntarily startled. The little fairy doctor's snow-like hair had once again regained its original color. Long black hair poured down her back like a waterfall, randomly spreading behind her. A gentle wind blew over, causing her hair to sway. The appearance of the little fairy doctor was the same as when Xiao Yang had first met her back in Qingshan town, within the Jioma Empire, except her alluring demeanor had become more potent. Even the gentle smile on her face was the same. The current her was the true little fairy doctor. Back then, she had rescued the dead and supported the injured within the Qingshan town. She had been viewed as a fairy in the heart of a countless number of mercenaries. "Why? Don't you recognize me?" The little fairy doctor took a couple of steps forward and arrived in front of Xiao Yang. She looked at his stunned expression and involuntarily laughed. "Your hair," Xiao Yang muttered. His eyes suddenly paused on the little fairy doctor's smooth forehead. There was a faint, grayish complicated imprint at that spot. At a glance, it appeared just like a seal. This is the spot where the woeful poison body exists. At this moment, all the woeful poison chi within my body has transformed into this seal. That elder is really an extraordinary person. She was able to create a method to completely condense the woeful poison body. The little fairy doctor gently rubbed the symbol on her smooth forehead as she laughed. Xiao Yang nodded while feeling at a loss. His eyes swept over the little fairy doctor before he bitterly laughed. "From what I can sense, the aura that you currently possess is likely even stronger than Tianhuozunjia, right? It should be at the 7th star." The little fairy doctor replied with a sweet smile. Sealing the woeful poison body appeared to have caused the large rock in her heart to fully scatter. Her smile now was more relaxed and more tempting. "A 7-star Do Zun." Xiao Yang involuntarily sighed when he heard this. Putting it this way, it seemed that even the little fairy doctor had raised her strength by 3 stars or so. This caused Xiao Yang, whose strength had barely risen by 2 stars after swallowing a heavenly flame, to feel extremely speechless. Why was it that he was acquainted with people who could not be a little more ordinary? My body had gathered too much poison chi. The best evidence of this was the transformation of my hair into a white color, but after practicing the chi method that the elder had left behind, the poison chi that I had gathered became a tonic. Otherwise, I would not have been able to make this leap, the little fairy doctor gently explained. Xiao Yang helplessly nodded. He was naturally happy that the little fairy doctor and the others could experience such a lucky encounter. From another point of view, the increase in their strengths could be considered an increase in his. Nevertheless, this kind of rising speed was a little shocking. Everyone's strength had basically soared within less than 1 year, and they had all reached quite a strong level. With the lineup of Xiao Yang's group, they would be able to kill the 9th Qianzuan from the Hall of Souls should they meet him again. A person who appeared to only possess a 5-star strength, but was able to unleash a frightening combat strength that was comparable to a 6-star, or even 7-star expert along with 2 6-star Dozuns and an expert 7-star Dozun with the woeful poison body. As long as the Hall of Souls did not activate a Banshin class ultimate expert, this lineup would be able to escape in one piece even while being chased by the Hall of Souls. "Since you have arrived, it is time for us to leave." Xiao Yang gradually recovered from the joy of the great increase in the little fairy doctor's strength. He stretched his lazy waist and laughed in an indolent manner. "I?" The little fairy doctor smiled when she heard Xiao Yang's decision and did not object. Her heart felt quite happy with quietly helping him do things from behind. The second day after the little fairy doctor returned to the Falling Star Pavilion, Xiao Yang's group once again gathered together. After some preparations, the 4 of them quietly left. Other than Yao Lao and a few others, they did not alert anyone as they left. The Jiyu realm was located in the eastern region of the Central Plains. Most of the factions in that region were subordinates of the Jiyu clan. However, the supreme leader of this eastern region was foreign to even some of the leaders of these factions. They only knew that this exceptional existence possessed an extremely frightening strength. If one wished to muddle along within this incomparably vast eastern region, a subordinate faction, with the Gu clan above them, possessed an effective, powerful card. The Gu clan was a mysterious and powerful clan, with talent that caused an ordinary person to feel extreme envy since the ancient times. The training path, that was unusually tough, in the eyes of an ordinary person, appeared like a flat, wide road that led to the sky in the eyes of someone from the Gu clan. All they needed was tiny bit of training in order to become an expert, in the eyes of an ordinary person, swiftly surpassing those of the same generation, who trained with great effort. Ultimately, those many dazzlingly lights would overlap above people's heads. Thus, the Gu clan retained a mysterious luster in the eyes of many people within the eastern region. Even in some distant areas, there were people who thought of them as gods. That fanaticism caused an ordinary person to feel disbelief, because everyone knew that there was no divine being in this world. The Falling Star Pavilion was far from the eastern region. Even with the speed of Xiao Yan's group and the use of some wormholes, it would require at least half a month to reach the eastern region. Xiao Yan's group could only hurry in. By counting the time, there was merely less than a month until the adult ceremony. If they were late, it was likely that they would miss this rare occasion. An enormous black figure rushed through the azure sky. Wave after wave of wind and airflow was made visible to the naked eye. According to this speed of ours, we should reach the eastern region tomorrow. However, it is rumored that the entrance to the Gu realm is located in a city called Gu Sacred City, within the eastern region. A couple of figures were seated on the enormous body of a 9 serene deep-ground python. The little fairy doctor held a map in her hand as she explained the situation to Xiao Yang in front of her. Gu Sacred City, Xiao Yang nodded. He had heard of this name. The reputation of this city in the eastern region surpassed the Pill Tower's Holy Pill City, because it was the entrance to the Gu realm. The Gu Sacred City is a city that prohibits outsiders from entering. Quite a number of experts from the Gu realm guard it. If one does not possess an invitation card, even top Dozan experts would not be able to barge into it even if they wanted to. The little fairy doctor laughed. However, this is not a problem for us. There are quite a number of large cities within the eastern region that possess a wormhole that connect to the area around the Gu Sacred City. At that time, all we need is to use a wormhole to reach the Gu Sacred City. If no unforeseen circumstances occur, we will appear outside the Gu Sacred City in 5 days. Xiao Yang nodded. He turned to Qinglin and asked, "There have been no problems, right?" There is not a single spatial fluctuation within a 50-kilometer radius. We have left very abruptly. Even if the Hall of Souls wishes to follow us, it would not be easy to do so. Qinglin slightly nodded. 3 tiny black spots were slowly rotating within her eyes. Any energy fluctuations within a 50-kilometer radius were captured by her eyes. With Qinglin as a scout, it would be quite difficult for the Hall of Souls to follow them and launch a surprise attack. Xiao Yang smiled when he heard this. He said, "In that case, increase our speed." That large tail of the 9 serene deep-ground python was suddenly swung when his words sounded. Its enormous body shot forward like a meteorite and disappeared into the horizon within the blink of an eye. Xiao Yang's trip was smooth throughout the way. On the morning of the next day, his group had arrived in the territory belonging to the eastern region of the Central Plains. However, they did not stop along the way. Instead, they found a large city with a wormhole that led to the area around the Gu Sacred City. After which, they entered it without stopping. While they were shuttling through the wormhole, Xiao Yang's group was a little surprised to discover that this wormhole was extremely lively. Occasionally, a ray of light would flow by within the spatial tunnel. One could even see some experts walking in the air. The weakest person that Xiao Yang saw was a Dozong. Clearly, these people were all heading to Gu Sacred City. However, he didn't know which factions these people belonged to. Due to the area being crowded and messy, Xiao Yang's group did not chat with those around them. Instead, they quietly traveled. Another 5 days swiftly passed. On the 5th day, Xiao Yang, who had kept his eyes shut, slowly opened them. His eyes focused on the end of the silver spatial tunnel. The spatial energy rippled. A silver light cluster vaguely appeared. Have we finally arrived? Xiao Yang gently sighed as he studied that light cluster. A fiery heat quietly climbed into his heart. That alluring figure that could bring disaster to countries and cities gradually became clearer within his mind. Zun. I have arrived. That youth, who had once been shaken by this mysterious clan to the point of being speechless, was finally about to meet them. An incomparably vast grassy plain extended into the distance. A lush green color filled one's eyes, emitting an exuberant life force. A majestic and towering large stone square stood here. The large stone square was around 1,000 feet in size. It was supported by a countless number of enormous stone pillars. From a distance, it appeared like a giant standing between the sky and earth, giving one a spectacular feeling. A distorted color appeared above this huge stone square. Occasionally, some silver lights would flicker and numerous figures rushed out of them to gently land in the square. This extremely spacious square was filled with people. Noise gathered together and charged to the clouds. Kai. The space in the air once again distorted at this moment. A couple of figures came out of it. These figures steadily landed on the large stone platform. They lifted their eyes and looked around them while a surprise surfaced on their faces. This should be the Gu stone square that is mentioned on the map. It seems that we did not take a wrong turn. The little fairy doctor smiled as she glanced around this majestic and towering large stone platform. After which, she informed Xiao Yang beside her. Xiao Yang nodded. His eyes swept over this enormous platform. With his eyesight, he was naturally able to sense that the auras on the platform were all quite strong. There were even some auras that even he had to treat seriously. It is indeed worthy of being the Gu clan. Those who can be invited by them are all true experts. This ability to gather people is really quite frightening. Tian Huazunja by the side nodded slowly and exclaimed. Xiao Yang smiled. He looked to the east. He could vaguely see the outline of an extremely enormous city at the edge of his sight. He said, "That place is our destination, the Gu sacred city, let's go." An impatience surfaced on Xiao Yang's face when he finished speaking. His heart was curious to learn more about this mysterious Gu realm. Moreover, there was still the tomb of his Xiao clan ancestor within the Gu realm. Being his descendant, Xiao Yang needed to make a trip there no matter what. Naturally, no one objected to Xiao Yang's words. The group ceased delaying at this moment. Their bodies moved, and they rushed into the high sky before flying in the direction of the distant city. There were quite a number of people taking the same route as Xiao Yang's group. From the flying speed of these people, it was possible to tell that they were all quite strong. However, Xiao Yang did not meet any faction that he was familiar with along the way. Only then did his heart feel awed. It was said that the Central Plains had many hidden experts. These words were indeed true now that he had experienced them. The strength of these experts was not the least bit inferior to some top faction elders. Normally, they would not reveal themselves. They kept such low profiles that it was frightening. Although the grassy plains were vast, it was nothing to Xiao Yang's group. Within less than 10 minutes, the vaguely visible city had appeared in their sight. Xiao Yang was a little stunned when he saw this city for the first time, because this city was not filled with a dominating aura as they had imagined. The city was built from large pale green rocks. Perhaps it was due to the erosion of time, but this city appeared to have decayed. An unusually ancient aura spread from the city, causing one to sense a slight ancient feeling. As they approached, Xiao Yang's group finally discovered that this ancient city was encased in a transparent light barrier. This light barrier might appear thin and frail, but it created a pressure that seemed to originate from the soul. This pressure caused quite a number of people's expressions to change. Respect appeared on the faces of the experts familiar with the origins of the city. This Gu sacred city has stood since ancient times. It is rumored that it was built by the elite Do Di from the Gu clan. The light barrier contains part of the Do Di's strength. With the protection of this light barrier, this Gu sacred city is impenetrable. Tian Huazunja softly explained. It seemed that he was familiar with this city. Do Di's strength, no wonder it is this frightening. Xiao Yang came to a sudden understanding. No wonder the pressure he felt within his soul was growing denser the closer he approached the city. As an act of respect to an elite Do Di, flying is forbidden within a 10,000-foot radius of the Gu sacred city. We will have to walk in on foot. Otherwise, the pressure would increase. Tian Huazunja smiled. After which, he took the lead to land on the ground. Xiao Yang's group quickly followed from behind. Their speed was not reduced even after they had landed. They transformed into numerous blurry figures that quickly rushed to the ancient city. Xiao Yan's group slowly stopped in front of the entrance to the Jiyu Sacred City. The Jiyu Sacred City was not a city that one could randomly enter. Unless one obtained an invitation from the Jiyu clan, an ordinary person was prohibited from entering it. Although the procedure to enter the city was extremely complicated, no one dared to behave atrociously due to the renowned reputation of the Jiyu clan. Xiao Yan's group followed the rest of the people and slowly advanced. Some time later, they finally arrived at the entrance of the city. Xiao Yan swept his gaze around, only to see nearly 100 black-armored figures holding long spears and standing straight on both sides of the city's gate. Sharp eyes continued to roam around. Wave after wave of powerful auras radiated their bodies, causing one to involuntarily exclaim that the Jiyu clan was really grand. Xiao Yan's eyes shifted away from these black-armored human figures. Suddenly, they paused on a familiar figure at the city's entrance. His eyes immediately narrowed. Ling Quan. A figure was standing tall and straight at the entrance to the city. The pale green armor that he wore caused him to appear a little colder. His back swayed with the wind, causing him to appear to be in high spirits. This familiar figure was naturally that of the commander of the Black Submerged Army, Ling Quan, who had formed a grudge with Xiao Yang. It was unexpected that Xiao Yang would end up meeting Ling Quan the moment he arrived at Jiyu Sacred City. It was really the case of enemies frequently crossing paths. When Xiao Yang noticed Ling Quan's cold stern eyes found him. Ling Quan was immediately startled before his face swiftly became dark and solemn. Xiao Yang, who allowed you to head to this place? Ling Quan's ugly expression and cold cry caused quite a number of eyes to emit a swoosh sound as they shifted. Finally, they paused on Xiao Yang with some surprise. The matter of Xiao Yang having become the champion of the pill gathering had already spread across the Central Plains. The current Xiao Yang possessed a great reputation in the Central Plains. However, from the looks of his appearance now, it seemed that this pill-gathering champion had some grudge with this young commander from the Jiyu clan. Xiao Yang's expression remained calm in the face of Ling Quan's cold cry. He flicked his finger and a jade invitation appeared from his storage ring. It carried a sharp wind as it explosively shot toward Ling Quan. HMPH. Ling Quan's expression sank when he saw this invitation. He let out a cold snort as Do Chi lingered on his hand. He suddenly reached out and caught the jade invitation. Kai. When Ling Quan's hand touched the jade invitation, a frightening temperature suddenly materialized from it, burning his palm until a dense, white fog was emitted. The intense pain that caused Ling Quan's expression to become gloomy. However, it was fortunate that he was not an ordinary person. He clenched his teeth and forcefully endured it. His hand tapped the jade invitation and absorbed the information from within it. So you are actually from the Falling Star Pavilion. How can such a faction receive an invitation from my Jiyu clan? Ling Quan coldly laughed. His tone contained some disdain. The old Falling Star Pavilion did not possess the qualification to receive such an invitation. It is written on it. If you are illiterate, you can go and ask the members of your Jiyu clan, return the jade invitation. Xiao Yang faintly instructed. Xiao Yang's tone caused Ling Quan to furiously grit his teeth. His hand gripped the jade invitation tighter as he coldly said, "You can just come over and take it." Ling Quan's words had just sounded when he suddenly sensed his eyes become dazzled. The jade invitation in his hand immediately left it. By the time he recovered, the jade invitation had appeared in Xiao Yang's hand in front of him. This caused Ling Quan's face to turn red almost instantly. It was unexpected that he had only just uttered these words when Xiao Yang had snatched back the jade invitation. He had lost a great amount of face. Bastard. This Ling Quan appeared to have forgotten his current identity because of his anger from this embarrassment. He let out a furious cry. Sharp wind violently slammed toward Xiao Yang. Bang. The palm wind of Ling Quan danced. Before he could strike Xiao Yang, his eyes were dazzled once again. A leg smashed into his chest with lightning-like speed. The frightening force sent him flying backwards before he collided with the city wall. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out of Ling Quan's mouth after he fell from the city wall. His face was filled with disbelief and shock. When he had met Xiao Yang in the Yi clan back then, his strength was still 1 star higher than Xiao Yang's. Back then, he might not have been able to defeat Xiao Yang, but he was still able to exchange blows. Now, however, he was unable to even see Xiao Yang's attack before he was utterly defeated. The gap between the two had already pulled apart by a terrifying extent. This extreme change almost caused his arrogant self to vomit blood. How many years has it been? The brat that he had viewed like an ant at the inner academy back then was already standing on his head. Some surprise flashed across the eyes of the surrounding people when they saw Xiao Yang force a one-star Dozun back with a kick. They had not expected Xiao Yang to possess such attainments for Do Chi along with his great achievements in medicinal refinement. Commander Ling Quan, I'm sorry that my blow was a little heavy. However, please avoid doing such a stupid thing next time. After all, there aren't many who hold back like me. Xiao Yang flicked the jade invitation into his storage ring. After which, he glanced at the shocked face of Ling Quan and smiled as spoke. Black submerged section, capture him. Ling Quan furiously cried out. His eyes immediately reddened when he saw the smile on Xiao Yang's face. Swoosh. The 100 black-armored Jiyu clan warriors standing before the city's entrance did not hesitate when they heard this furious cry. The long spears in their hands immediately emitted swoosh sounds as they were aimed at Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang's expression slowly became gloomy when he saw this scene. The little fairy doctor and the rest beside Xiao Yang became gloomy when they saw the many black submerged army warriors pointing the long spears in their hands at Xiao Yang. Their bodies moved, and they appeared beside Xiao Yang. Their vast and mighty Do Chis quietly surged. The atmosphere at the city's gate had become a swords-drawn one as both parties faced each other. Some people's eyes were observing Xiao Yang's group with some interest. They were surprised that his group dared to attack a member of the Jiyu clan at the Jiyu sacred city. Ling Quan, as the commander of the Black Submerged Army, are you planning on abusing your authority for a private grudge? This jade invitation was issued by the Jiyu clan. Since we possess this jade invitation, we are guests of the Jiyu clan. With your status, you do not have the qualification to capture me, right? Xiao Yang's face sank as he coldly laughed. Ling Quan's was dull when he heard this. He was just about to let out a cold cry when a loud shout suddenly exploded from beyond the city wall. A figure rushed down in a lightning-like manner. It landed heavily in front of the city gate like a metal tower. Ling Quan, what are you doing? Ling Quan's expression changed when he saw that figure rushing down from the city wall. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, "It's nothing." Nothing. That human figure frowned when he heard this. His eyes drifted toward Xiao Yang's group. Using this opportunity, Xiao Yang got a clear look of this person's face. Like Ling Quan, this person was wearing bright armor. However, his aura was clearly much stronger than Ling Quan's aura. Based on Xiao Yang's senses, he should be an expert 3-star Dozun. Greetings to 5th Commander. The surrounding black submerged army warriors respectfully cried out when they saw this man. One of them swiftly summarized the events that had occurred earlier. You are that Xiao Yang? The man wearing the light green armor was startled when he heard the name Xiao Yang. He frowned and glanced at Xiao Yang again. His expression vaguely contained an extremely faint enmity. Falling Star Pavilion Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang's face was calm. He cupped his hands to this man, who was called 5th Commander, in front of him. That's right, he is that Xiao Yang who young Miss has mentioned. Ling Quan coldly laughed. His eyes tried to bore into Xiao Yang. That gaze of his was filled with envy and an unwillingness as he said, "Are you planning on allowing him in now?" Xiao Yang slowly knit his brows when he heard the conversation between the two. It seemed that quite a number of people in the Jiyu clan were aware of his name, probably because of Zun. The 5th Commander was quiet for a moment. His eyes were complicated as he glanced at Xiao Yang. After which, he turned his head and furiously chided Ling Quan, "Do you have any brain? He possesses a jade invitation. That means he is a guest invited by our Jiyu clan. These actions of yours, are you planning to allow others to mock our Jiyu clan for not knowing etiquette?" Ling Quan's face alternated between green and white after being furiously reprimanded by 5th Commander, but he was unable to say much due to the other party having a higher status than him. All he could do was let out a cold snort and withdraw. "Mr. Xiao Yang, please enter. Please wait in the Jiyu sacred city for a couple of days. There will be someone who will bring all of you into the Jiyu realm when the time comes." After reprimanding Ling Quan, the 5th Commander cupped his hands to Xiao Yang as he spoke in a deep voice. Xiao Yang nodded. Although this fifth commander had formed a hint of animosity for him, he was impartial. This was much better than Ling Quan. However, the thing that caused Xiao Yang to feel some doubt was that this was the first time he had met this person. Where did his enmity come from? Could it be still because of Zun Er? Xiao Yang bitterly laughed in his heart. As the saying went, a beauty brought trouble. Moreover, Zun Er's beauty could bring disaster to a country and its people. He had a premonition that this trip to the Jiyu clan would not be smooth. Xiao Yang led the little fairy doctor and the rest into the city. While he was walking by the fifth commander hesitated for a moment before cupping his hands together to say, "If this is not too abrupt, may I find time to spar with Mr. Xiao Yang? I really wish to see if you are really compatible with young Miss." The last sentence was as weak as a housefly. However, it clearly formed in Xiao Yang's ears. Upon hearing this sentence, Xiao Yang sighed, as expected. Xiao Yang slowly nodded and did not open his mouth to make an excuse to reject it. He was clearly aware of Zun Er's status within the Jiyu clan. With her demeanor and talent along with her extremely great beauty, it was likely that most of the young and handsome men within this Jiyu realm possessed some feelings for her. They would naturally treat Xiao Yang as a love rival who posed the greatest threat. Xiao Yang clearly understood that this kind of sparring would increase in the future. Moreover, these matches would progress beyond sparring. Xiao Yang's heart felt miserable because of his future fate. He waved his hand and led the little fairy doctors group into this ancient city in front of many gazes. A dark chill flashed across Ling Quan's eyes as he watched Xiao Yang's back disappear. He softly muttered, "Xiao Yang, it was fine if you hide outside. Now that you have come to the Jiyu clan and invited in humiliation, you can only blame yourself for being blind. With this little strength of yours, you do not possess the qualifications to act fiercely among the younger generation of my Jiyu clan." Xiao Yang was naturally unable to hear Ling Quan's dark voice. His group passed through the city wall and entered the city, which permeated with an ancient aura. The current Jiyu sacred city was lively. Human traffic frequently filled the streets. Although there wasn't as much human traffic compared to other cities, most of people who could walk within this city possessed a great strength. We should head to the area within the city that is set up for people to rest. I have already made inquiries. The door that heads to the Jiyu realm will be opened in 3 days. All of us have to remain in this Jiyu sacred city during these 3 days. The little fairy doctor smiled as she explained the situation to the group after she had obtained some information. Xiao Yang tilted his head in acknowledgement. His eyes swept around him as he softly made a comment, "This Jiyu sacred city is filled with all sorts of people, and they are all strong individuals. We should be careful during these few days." Xiao Yang took the lead. He started to slowly walk to the middle of the city after uttering those words.